those guys in 2019 came up with 13 principles to define what agroecology is. Remember, we have already said agroecology is a practice, a science, and a what? And a movement. Practice, science, and a movement. Most times, we dwell more on agriculture as a practice. Yeah? Soil. We rarely talk about it as a movement and as a science. That's why people think agriculture is traditional agriculture, which is not the case. Agriculture has principles of traditional agriculture, how our parents used to farm. For example, in the area where I come from, traditional agriculture, bush burning was okay. Agroecology, bush burning is not okay. You get. In traditional agriculture, you could just plant things like this and then you go away. In my area, if you went to a garden, you may think you are entering a bush. When they weed the first time, they don't, the second time now they leave the base to compete with the weed. Are we together? So there's a difference between traditional agriculture and agroecology, but the beauty is traditional agriculture doesn't largely damage the what? The soil. Are we together? Because also they don't apply synthetic what? Fertilizers or something like that. The product from out. So these principles are designed to support the transition to agroecology. Whatever we are doing currently, we are looking at transitioning our food system to agroecology. Together. And there are levels of transition. Yeah. There's level 1 up to level 5. So the elements and the principles speak to how we transition to agroecology. Are we together? I want us to move together because this is the area where most of our questions are coming from. So that's why we need to get this. So principle number 1 is recycling. I found someone talking about recycling here. Principle number 2, input reduction, soil health, animal health, biodiversity, and I believe these are ones you have interacted with, so most likely they are not new to you. Synergy, and then we have economic diversification. Number 8 is co-creation of knowledge. Number 9 is social values and diet. Number 10 is fairness. Number 11 is connectivity. Number 12 is land and natural resource governance. And number 13 is participation. Yeah. The beauty is you're going to receive this also as part of the handouts that you're getting out of this training. So, agroecosystem, then the food system. So, we have read this, and I think these words are also self-explanatory. Animal health looks at the way it is. Soil health looks at what I found you guys talking about. How are we treating the soil? Input reduction looks at reducing chemical use and synthetic fertilizers and stuff like that. Now, I need to clarify that when we are telling people to transition to agriculture, we are not saying that you have been heavily using fertilizers, you have been heavily using DAP and all those funny things. Tomorrow, as you're planting, don't use them. That's not how transition works. Let's do it together. Transition has levels. Yeah? So, the thing is, the farm is supposed to be moving towards agriculture by reducing dependence on synthetic. Are we all together? Because if you advise someone that tomorrow, if the soil is already damaged, and you advise them tomorrow, if you want to transition, plant without using energy, you know the results, right? Later they'll tell you, you see what agroecology does? This is agroecology. We have not gotten what? Anything from it. So transitioning has levels. Transitioning has levels. So level number one, increase efficiency of input use and reduce use of costly, environmentally damaging what? Input. So when we are transitioning, the first step is reducing what? Environmentally damaging what? Inputs. That means if I've been using a particular chemical, I start reducing. That is level one. Are we together? Level two, substitute conventional inputs and practices with agroecological alternatives. Now there, the farm is transitioning. Level two is substitution. That means if your land is dependent on fertilizer, you are substituting the synthetic with what? Organic. Are we together? Because in maybe your land has not revived or something like that, and you do the substitution. That is level two. So the two, this is incremental, then this is transformational. By the time you reach here, it means now the transformation of agroecology has completely what? Begun. Yeah? So there are levels of transition. You know, we deal with people who end up telling us, come for me. There's nothing now I can do with my land. I have destroyed it. I hear what you're telling me, but I've reached the point of no return. Yeah? Until when you explain to them that there's a process that you can move from level one to the time when you're like, this is, I've completed transition. So, level three is redesigning the ecosystem. What is the ecosystem? When you hear the word ecosystem, what? The answer you're thinking of is the right one. So, we just say, yes. Yes. Redesigning how we interact. Yeah. I thought when you were talking about interdependence, the ecosystem is interdependent. No one is supposed to exploit the other more than they benefit from them. Yeah? So the ecosystem is interdependent. So at level three, when we are redesigning the ecosystem, we are looking at how do we bring back this interdependence. How do the plants depend on animals? How do they depend on people and stuff like that? Okay. Okay. Then level four looks at reconnect consumers and producers through the development of alternative food networks. So, how does food reach us here? Like the banana that you have just eaten, how do you think, which process does it go through for it to come here? Anyone who can explain to us? Let me say there's a farmer in, yes?
Yeah, I think from where we start, let's for example, the banana plantation in my village, broker comes with the transporter who knows the market in Kampala, then this middleman tells me I have to give it to him a big bunch at around 12,000. We tell you transport, load it up to from Shema, all those kilometers up to Kampala, being hit by the sun. Though we normally wrap it in those, try to shield it a bit, then gets to the market, and the person who goes to the market buys the bunch, stores it till it ripens for me to eat.
Okay. So, in this, we have seen there are different people there. There's a farmer. Middleman and middlewoman. So, how many middle people are there? Sometimes the person who comes to the farm sometimes is not the person who brings it to Kampala. Yeah? Sells it to another person who will bring it to what? To Kampala.
It leaves the village to the nearest town.
Yes. So there is another middleman here. Then at the market, that's now where there is the trader, the one who is going to bring it to where? Kampala. So when that person brings it to Kampala, there is a market. There is a market vendor who gets it from this person, yeah, and buys it. And sometimes you find when in the market still, there's an wholesaler who is going to buy the entire thing, and then now there are these people who sell small things to come. Then the procurement person from here contacts someone at what? At the market. And then the hotel buys it. And then you eat it. Yeah? So, what agriculture looks at actually it's very important. Looking at alternative food markets. Meaning, how can food come from this person to this person? Okay, maybe also to this person. Without going through all these people. Hence, increasing earning, yeah, for this person. But also, because all this movement are having a climate change effect, then you have protected the environment as well. So, what would be the market alternative for food to reach this person from this person without necessarily going through all the? So that's what agriculture looks at, developing the market alternative. Now, if the bananas come from the farmer like that, and it reaches you like that, the way we have seen it here, what value additional have these guys done? What have they added in the banana from the time it left the farmer's field? Now that's the argument we have, because value added attracts money, right? But now if the product is leaving here to here without any value added, yet the price is keeping on changing, and the person who got it. So you never know that also as food may become cheaper. So the challenge to you is which is the alternative market system that you can use.
How about that originally to operate the process, like maybe the another member adds value to it and takes it to the trader. It can also be possible.
Yeah, that's okay. I didn't go there because we were looking at the banana that we have just seen right now that is live the way it is. But yes, there can be a process where there's a middleman somewhere who then later sells to a processor who makes a product from the banana. Most likely, that person goes straight to the trader, and the trader brings here. Yeah. So there's a concept of value addition for the product that are being produced by the farmer as well. So this chain that I've shared here, it's only for the example of the banana. Yeah. But other products may have different what? Different chains. But the thing is, for the case of the banana, what have these guys done to deserve all that they have gotten? And then now, what has the farmer gotten? So we have had instances where farmers tell us that, agroecological practices are very labor intensive, they need time and stuff like that. Yet the rewards are not what? Are not much, or they are the same with the other products that are easy to what? To grow. And they end up saying, let me continue with the one that I will use.
Okay. I don't know why I'm confusing myself now, because with, for example, using that approach, amongst the principles was maybe fairness. And if in many terms, because I'm trying to understand agroecology very well, looking at fairness. If I was to look at this farmer, and then maybe the target would be how do we get a market from a direct linkage from the farmer to the consumer. And now I'm trying to see these middlemen, what are they going to be doing in the process? And it means their families are also going to be starving. So it means, well, in my view, that is not a fair system.
Yeah.
It is unfair to everyone. And then number two, if I would take that direction of farmer to maybe consumer, she's from Shema and she sends a banana to me who stays in Kisasi. It means that banana, she'll put it on a bus, 10,000, border from the bus to my home, 10,000, that is 20,000 on transport. Then the banana itself, if I get it in my place, it is 20,000. So it means at least if these people are there, they can bunch up and bring to me at a cheaper cost.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't know, I'm now starting to see somehow analyze their process.
Fairness is defined by people who are earning salary or people who are doing business. The government says, I'm taxing you 60% of your salary. And then they tell you, of the 60%, you won't touch any of your money. If you're going to school, if you're going to hospital, if you're going to any public service, you won't be spending anything, and you're going to receive quality. Then another company tells you, I'm going to charge you only 10%, 15%, 20%. But when you are remaining 80% is what you are supposed to use to get the entire services in the value chain. Are we together? Fairness is defined by the system. Yeah. So to some people, being highly taxed and not having any cost to care about is what is fair. If you brought that case to our country in Uganda automatically we shall bring out our guns and say, no, we are not going to accept it. Are we together? Because we're going to say it's not fair, it's not fair, it's exploitative. So, and I want us to know the market very well. The market is so innovative. The market is so innovative. If we went away with these guys, you would be surprised how many other people will come that these guys can be involved in. The market is so, I don't know, the market is so innovative. So, but what we are saying, we are not saying fairness means removing this. Fairness means each one getting a fair share of the work that they are doing. Are we together? So, you guys, I don't know if any of you have ever been a middleman. What they go and tell the farmer, ha! The way prices will not talk out. In Kampala. I'm even helping you. I'm risking. Let me risk. Let me risk on you. If you were not my aunt, I wouldn't have carried this matter. Let me risk. You see, they're even about to they're about to ripen. With these bad roads. The time they will reach it, that's what they tell the farmer. Yeah. So then they pack it that night, they drive it that night, then they reach Kaleri, they sell. Happily, in Uganda, it goes back and says, you know, today it was my yacht, my day. Is that being fair? No, that's not a report. I'm going to use that fair. Each one gets a portion of what they have done. So in case these guys pay the farmer the right way, they pay themselves the right way, still the food will reach here, but none of these will be complaining. Are we together? So that's what we are talking about. So fairness looks at supporting livelihood, robust livelihood, dignified livelihood of all actors engaged in the food system. Are we all together? Dignified livelihood. Are farmers having dignified livelihood? Okay, there are some who are having, but are most farmers having dignified livelihood? Yet they are producing the most what? The most food. So then agriculture looks at making sure that they get the fair share. That's what I mean here. No one is going to be chased out of the thing, but it's not supposed to be exploitative. And under food sovereignty, for us, we actually believe that food initially was designed not necessarily to be a trade product. Food, your stomach is supposed to come first before we do the trading. But have you noticed that this hotel can pour away food, but when you have hungry people, you get what I mean? Yeah. Even that's where we stay. You can pour away food, but when there may be a neighbor who is not having what? Food. So fairness is broad. You have something.
Yes. If I can take you back to the incremental and the transformation. The second one is say that agroecology looks at substitution of conventional inputs and practices with the agricultural alternatives. Yeah, that's one. And then when you were explaining, you referred conversion to use of insects. Now, I'm asking, in this case, does conversion represent the traditional or it represents the technology-oriented production?
Oh, okay. Tradition is closer to agriculture than to convention. Traditional agriculture is the way we used to farm. Yeah? Like actually very long ago, there was even no need for someone to do organic fertilizer. Like the lands were, okay? they were following, they were, you leave the land there to regenerate, yeah. In some districts, they still do it, but in other districts, there's no more land, you cannot leave land to regenerate, but you leave land to regenerate, you use this other land, then when you want to plant, you burn, you do bush burning, or you are hunting animals, you do bush burning, as you use in the other land, and then later in the other season, you switch to this one, traditional agriculture. Conventional is this agriculture that is being promoted right now. It includes industrial agriculture, agriculture that focuses on having these magic inputs that they give us using from seed to fertilizer, from seed to fertilizer to pesticides, all of them coming from outside the farm. That is industrialization and all that is the conventional agriculture. So it's quite different from traditional agriculture.
Yes. Thank you. And the other question was about connecting producers to consumers. Looking at the value chain, that marketing chain actually. As agroecology recognizes what everyone at each segment has to get, being fair, does it also look at the quality of the product going through that chain to the last consumer? For example, the value of value addition in milk, we look at this milk having its lifespan prolonged. That probably we have milk processed into powder and we can have it for a long time. That is one of the value explanation. But also we have, as we are preserving this milk, we are using a strong preservative, potassium sorbate, which has a health effect. For example, if we took long life without boiling it, we just take it fresh, it has a serious health effect. Does agroecology also have a lens focusing into the quality of this product going along the value chain?
Okay. Is it also a question?
Just for me, I think here in agroecology, we have different players. For example, we were talking about, let's say, farmer, and we have the producers, we have the agro dealers. So everyone will play his role in his own way. Because our farmer right now can't understand how he's going to add value his need. So we have, for example, now we have the processors. The processors, they are the ones who is going to tell the farmers that this milk should be like this. So it doesn't necessarily the farmer has to do milking, has to add value. There are some people who will add value to the meat. So that's how the principle of fairness comes in. If you are a farmer and there is a manufacturer, or let's say, let me give an example of my fertilizer. We have people who are making fertilizer, but we just collect them, then we add value from that fertilizer. So it doesn't necessarily that someone who is doing that has to follow all the principles. We have the other people in the ecosystem who is going to do other stuff, but have to make sure that the issue of fairness, that's how the gentleman was talking about. Make sure that if you're a farmer, maybe you are buying him for this amount, you are adding value to this amount. At least make sure that the amount he's going to give him, it has to be a fair compared to what you are going to get. But it doesn't necessarily, a farmer has to do everything in the ecosystem.
Yeah. So thank you for that, and thank you for the question a lot. So the people who really enjoy the best benefit from agroecology are the farmers. Because for them, they get real-time product. I get the milk, I take it and then I boil it or I drink it because I bought it directly from a cow. I'm not injecting it with anything or I'm not putting any chemical in the milk or something like that. To us, there are other things in the value chain, like how you have said, the long life milk and stuff like that. Now, when we talk about it being fair, we talk about also having the fact that there are certain additives that they put like in that milk that maybe the science of agroecology has not yet explored what alternatives can be used. And that's why I tell people that the challenge that we have is that we focus more on agroecology as a practice. So in our campaign, we campaign more about investment in agroecology research. Governments, we challenge private sector, we challenge big donors like the Bill and Melinda Gates. Instead of investing money in doing this, can you invest money in agriculture? So that the science can identify other things that are not the only alternatives that are there. So if the only alternative to foot and mouth disease is this particular medicine, and if the only treatment is this particular medicine and there is no alternative, then that is what is used. But the thing is, consumers must know. You get. So how many consumers know that long life milk is not supposed to be taken live? Are you together? And that's what we talk about from some a consumer here. Under agriculture, a consumer is powerful. Yeah? If I'm taking your, because most things that are processed, honestly, if you don't follow the guidelines very well, they have an effect. Most things that are processed. It's, even if someone has produced a groundnut organically, then they go through processing. You get it? There are certain additives that they put there. So for us as a consumer, the producers must make us aware. Yeah? That says this, you're not supposed to do like this. But also, there are certain things. Let me say maize. You get GMO corn, then you make cornflakes. Already, we have a problem. From the production, there's a problem. Okay. Processing is a problem. Now that is double problem for the what? For the consumer. So, but also we talk about awareness of the consumer. How many times do you guys start those small, the small writings? These ones, oh sorry. These are small writings here. How many of you ever read them? You only read the expiry date?
Yes.
Okay. You find some people, they eat something and they're like, every time I eat this, I get heartburn. Every time I do this, I get this. Every time I do this, I get this. But he or she has never sat there to say, I think because I have ulcers, I'm not supposed to eat this because of this and this. I'm together. So the consumer awareness is also key when it comes to, because under Principle 7, we talk about value addition opportunities. Value addition opportunities while enabling them to respond to demand from consumers. So under this principle, we look at demand from where? From consumers. You produce the things that the consumers are demanding for. So, my response to you, when there is no alternative, you use the other. But the thing is, consumers must be aware. Together, you should be aware of the side effects of the things that you're taking in the market. Because I believe if a farmer in the banana produced milk and brought it from there without coolers, without what, by the time it reaches you in Chisasi, you know how it will be. Yeah?
But good milk stays home.
Pardon?
Good milk stays home. That's where they don't add any.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how many people are in the value chain. Remember, if in case the value chain is like this, by the time it reaches this person, it may have moved from one place to another. You have to guarantee that each person is going to handle it the way you think it's supposed to handle it.
That's why they say quality.
Yeah.
Because sometimes quality is something that makes it something to stay on.
Yeah, true. So, and what you have just said brings the level 4 where we talk about developing alternative food networks. Yeah? Alternative food networks. Now, before urbanization, there used to be food markets at community level, where if you have chicken, you go and get matoke. If you have beans, you could go and exchange with something. Together. So the food market ensured that people got the things they need, healthy things, yeah. Because right now we are told even the greens that we brag about that I'm eating greens in the urban areas, they are preserved with chemicals. Yeah. So for that, you can be happy that I'm eating greens. Yet. And on that note, I have my saying. I eat meat because the animals already eat the greens for me. So then I eat meat. Yeah. I don't want to break the system.
Especially the meat yourself or you buy.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Yeah. But I believe if we push this very well, we can develop a system, a market system that protects both our financial interests but also our health interests. The problem that we have is that we joke about this in this kind of meeting, but we still go back to the same market and support the system that is not agroecology. Are we together? We talk about all this in these nice rooms, but the practice, we still promote the other practice. So, now, if you reach this level where we are being able to reconnect consumers and producers and then develop an alternative food network, level 5, which is the last one, looks at building a new global food system based on participation, localness, fairness, and justice. Participation, all of us, youth, women, everyone is participating in the food system. Localness, who can guess what localness means? They're talking about localness. Fairness, we already talked about it. When it says local.
So you may think that if I use
Yeah. We are ideally saying there is no need for, if you want to eat matoke in Dokoro, that you need to wait for a truck that is coming from Bara. Altogether, it means developing a food system that at the local level needs are what? Are made. But also, it avoids us, it's funny to go to a supermarket and you find beans that have been imported from the US. Yeah, yeah. You have seen those beans? And for us, some of us who use laptops and smartphones, we like that. You go to a supermarket and you feel nice that you're like, you feel like, I'm at a different level because, yeah. Yes, yeah, and someone says, this chicken has come from South Africa. I'm like, have you run out of chicken in this country or what? Eggs imported, everything. Yeah? So the local looks at building it, and this is very important. And Ugandans will learn this during COVID. The countries that were hit most are countries that didn't control like their food system very well. Surprisingly, during COVID, where all of us were scared we were going to die of hunger, people didn't die of hunger. Yes. Because, and now, even in town where everyone, some people were like, I need to get a bus to go to my village. If not, I'm dead from here. Yeah? But people survive because there's a bit of localness in our food system. Something is there that makes communities to feed themselves. Together. The thing is, if our food system is dependent on imports, we are not food sovereign. We understand what food sovereignty is. Food sovereignty is when we control our own food system. We control the food we eat, we control the seed, we control everything. So this is what this level is. Yeah? And then it talks about justice. Justice, the food system is not supposed to be exploited. Are we together? There is no way where all food comes to Kampala from a Germany, then we are people of Germany dying of hunger. You get what I mean? I like these beans that are coming from this area, but that area you're hearing people are dying of hunger. That is not fair. Okay, time is fast running. I planned that by 1 hour I should have finished the principles and the elements, but anyway, your principle number 1, recycle. All of you know that. Principle number 2, input reduction. I've already talked about that, reducing input. Principle number 3, we're looking at soil health. Do you mind about the soil health? In some communities, you go there, you can no longer find an insect moving around. You look around the soil, there's nothing, there's no insect, you have destroyed everything. So is the soil healthy? Animal health, yeah? When you see the way we treat animals, by the way, in agriculture, the reason why we are against industrialized agriculture, in some countries, and I know you have read statistics that says agriculture is contributing this percentage to climate change. Have you come across that? That is industrial agriculture. Industrial agriculture, a cow is put in something like this for the rest of its life. A cow stands like this, food is there, it cannot even turn like this. The machines are picking milk every day, the machines are always there. Animal health, how we treat animals. And that's why agroecology is unique, that animals are part of the food system. They are part of the farming system itself. Yeah? So, then also, in some countries, if you look at the way their cows look like, you don't feel like eating milk. Like, look at something that is sad and you are like, oh my God. Yeah? You don't feel like eating it. That, when you come to Uganda, and now like for cows, if you go to Western Uganda, you see the way they treat the cows. Like, I need to eat this cow, and then you see how it tastes. But some areas, the way they manage them is so bad. So, biodiversity, we know what biodiversity is. Yeah? We know it. Who doesn't know it, so that I ask the person to explain it. So you guys are quiet and you look at it. So we look at the species that we have and how they interact. Yeah, I've already said this, like the resources where they come from. In agriculture, we don't do. You have heard of monocrop, where you find someone having 100 acres of maize. There's an helicopter that flies around putting pesticides and stuff like that. So, do you know the population of bees are decreasing in the world? In some countries, it's very rare to see an insect, to see a bee. It's very rare. Also, you have noticed, in our communities as well, the bee population is what? Is reducing. That is a threat. Yeah? You'll be seeing some of these photos, not like this one is showing insects, flowers, everything working together. Synergies, number 6 is synergy. That is interaction. I told you guys discussing something about that, how plants feed animals, how animals feed trees, how trees feed the soil, soil feed water, you know? Synergy. You have been in some places where factories are releasing waste into the water. Yeah? We're calling that development, industrialization. They have created jobs to 100,000 people. Young people have jobs. But when there's a destruction of the ecosystem, I've already talked about economic diversification, co-creation and knowledge. Agroecology looks at innovations as well. Some of the things we are talking about, people are always improving this technology. What you know as mulching in one area, the way you do it may be different from the way other people do it in their area. There is innovation in agroecology. Social values and diet. Social values, diet. Agroecology looks at also the culture. Yeah. Imagine if you told someone who is coming from like the north, let me say Acholi and Lango, and you told them there is food without kalo. Or you told them Uganda there is berry without mado. In Uganda, you came to learn when they're saying berry, they mean mado. I'm like, what is this? You get culture. Food is culture. So if I hear a researcher saying I want to add something in the matoke that will make someone eat it and feel like this. I'm like, do you know you're attacking a full culture system? Are we together? A full culture system. So, food for us, we look at cultural values and diets. Fairness, we have talked about it. Number 11, connectivity. This one we have also discussed. Land and natural resource governance. So, I know land is a contentious issue, but protecting land and natural resource is key also to agriculture. And farmers have been guardians of these things. Farmers have looked after the natural resources, the forest, yeah. And it's funny sometimes also we support chasing farmers away from some of the things that they are destroying them. Yet those communities you are chasing have been preserving maybe a forest for a long period of time before you even came up with a policy to gazette them. Are we together? So natural resource governance, and then lastly is participation. Participation is what we are doing here. That each one, consumer, youth, women, everyone is supposed to be participating, organizing. Yeah, like now here, as young people, we are organizing to upscale agriculture. This is participation, and we're supposed to do that in all aspects. The market people, the traders, they're supposed to be coming together to promote the upscaling of agriculture. Okay, so this is what I've been explaining. Controlling of seed, the markets, policies, stronger participation in food production, resilience and adaptation to climate change, biodiversity, gradual outphasing and and dependence on what? Agrochemicals, reducing dependence. Social culture is what we have just talked about here. Food in Africa and in Uganda mostly, food is culture. You cross one district and things change. You move from here, then you go to another district, you find when potatoes are being made like it's portion. Then after crossing there, you find when cassava is being done like that. Yeah? Okay. So, I told you principles were developed by an high-level panel of experts. Then this one, FAO, the elements that FAO developed. There are 10.
Excuse me.
Yes, please.
I'm sorry to come in, but just briefly, you can just go back to the previous slide before this one. Yes, looking at promotion of healthy diets. What is the focus of agroecology on particularly on healthy diets? If remember when I raised the issue of preservatives, and you said that agroecology has not yet come up with that lens of focusing on what is being used and how it affects the life of the consumer. Then what is the focus? What do they call healthy diets? How do they conceptualize that in this case?
Sorry, I think I may have said that wrongly. if you understood it that way. I said in agroecology there are still opportunities of research, yeah, like in those areas. But when you talk about preservatives, there are forms that communities do preserve food and all those things even before the chemicals came in. Together. And that's why my issue was mostly directed to consumers who stay in urban areas. Yeah. So at community level, people are preserving milk without using chemicals. People are preserving meat. People are preserving all those things. They are community level. They have ways of preserving together. So it doesn't mean that everybody has not talked about food preservation. It is there. But the level that you're talking about, where we need to keep meat the way it is for a long period of time, yeah, that is the area that I'm saying that that people are still using chemicals to do. You get what I mean? So it's not that that I'm saying that everybody is not doing that. Then the promotion of health diets. Are you saying about the promotion of health diets?
Thank you. On the promotion of healthy diets, when you look at the 13 principles, number 9, it talks about social value of diets, where it emphasizes on building the food system based on the culture, identity, tradition, and social social and gender equity of the local communities. That means it emphasizes more than how that particular community does things in a healthy way. As we say that agroecology is context specific, that means if Northern Ugandans, they used to do it this way, culturally they do it this way. For example, in terms of preserving meat, if they, like maybe smoking and it takes like more than a week, that one is culturally, we consider it healthy instead of using preservatives and other things.
Yes, thank you very much. And in addition to that, we have reached a point where our meals are reducing. Yeah. People, like I don't know, there's a way God created this world is just so easy. In the northern region, in the seasons where it is dry, it's when you find the fruits working very well, and like you find when there are alternatives for meals. Yeah. Yeah. But if you're moving around, you're like, what are people feeding on? But there are alternatives. That's when the local food plants, the neglected and unutilized species, they are so available. Yeah. So about diets, we are decampaigning the meals of Andrew feeding on beans and posho for the entire year. Yeah, you are feeding on the same thing for the entire year. There's diversification in what? In agriculture. That the same household will have greens there, we'll have this there, we'll have this there, we have this there. So you are diversifying the diets that people are eating. One time we attended a workshop on agriculture in one hotel. On the first day, we served the same meal. Second day, the same meal. The third day, one of the participants raised the issue according to the principles. Then this is the principles of agriculture. Talks about that. What are we feeding on? Then the organizer said, we don't have control over here. They said that the principle of participation brings us consumers to participate in the food system. So for us, we are here, we need to be telling these guys the food that we want to eat. So we practice agroecology in that workshop. Yeah? So the diets are talked about, the healthy diets are talking about not using chemicals. If people are not using chemicals on the food, and us being aware of the food that we are eating is key. Yeah. If you're eating something that will kill you, but when you know you're eating it, with your knowledge, there's no problem. On a cigarette thing, the smoking is what? Is dangerous. But that doesn't stop the smoker to smoke. But at least you have been what? Warned. But how many foodstuffs do we eat that have that big thing? Now, like right now in our supermarkets, we have some products that are produced from GMO inputs. And it's written there small. Yeah? But of course, we don't know. So we are promoting health diets, eating food that is safe. Yeah? Like when you talk about meat, yeah, the meat that we eat, is it healthy? This is what we're talking about here. Agroecology shows that. So there are 10 elements. They are almost similar to the principles, yeah? Yeah, so we may not go so much into it. Diversity, if you see the image, the plant, the fish, the cow, diversity. Co-creation and knowledge sharing. In agroecology, we are not supposed to be mean. We're supposed to be able to share what? Knowledge and co-create. And I like it when farmers meet. When we are meeting with farmers, you hear them sharing. You know, for me, I'm showing this pest like this, and like, no, in our area, that pest we manage it like this and this and this. So that is agroecology. Synergy, we have talked about it. Efficiency, we have also talked about it. Recycling, we have talked about it. Resilience. You see, in the other discussions that are not agroecological, you find people talking about resilient food system, saying that our food system now cannot build resilience. So, for them, by resilient food system, they mean bringing alternatives into the food system. How do you together? But for us in agroecology, we believe that agroecology can build what? We can make our food system resilient. And that was proven already. Human and social values, this one we have talked about it. Imagine an investor coming to a village, yeah, and then chasing away all the people and puts their palm oil. All together. And then after putting their palm oil, we consume palm oil happily. Yeah? We have developed. Now we no longer do this. We consume like this. With agroecology, we look at where is this water coming from? Is this person respecting the people? All together. You know, most of these industries, they are rich because of exploitation. You know that. You exploit the worker so that you get more money. So in agroecology, we look at human and social values. Have you protected the social values of the other people? Yeah? Like you employ Muslims, but you're always serving pork. Yeah? Half of your employees are Muslims, but whatever if they don't want, let them go. Yeah? So social values and human values are key. Culture and food traditions. I know I tell people food is so traditional in Africa and mostly in Uganda. Food is so traditional. Those days before the development came, there are certain foods that they used to eat while healing, and others they used to eat while. They have their own tradition. In Uganda, there are certain seeds you take when you're going to pick a wife. Yeah. Also, as in our area, there are certain ingredients you don't cook during introduction. You don't cook them, but the moment you cook them, it's trouble. Yeah? Food is tradition. Are you together? So you don't come out of the blue and say, you just eat this. In some places, even women could not taste. Some of you women, you have eaten eggs. In some places, it was to be trouble. How dare you? What if you die? Yeah? So, food is tradition. Responsible governance. In Uganda, we fear talking about this issue. Yeah? Because the moment you talk about governance issue, it feels like you're opposing government and things like that. But here we're talking about responsible governance. The people who are given power too, are they responsible? Are they doing things the right way? Yeah? Like now, if they give out land that was being used by small-scale farmers in the name of investment, is that being responsible? Yeah? Okay. So, I've already talked about this, I guess. Okay. This also speaks to the SDGs that you have just talked about. So, the 10 elements of agroecology are interlinked and interdependent. Not one stands alone. So here, those ones, diversity, synergies, recycling, co-creation, knowledge sharing, describe the common characteristics of agroecological systems, foundational practices, and innovation approaches. Then the human and social values, culture, and food tradition looks at the context filters. Yeah. Responsible governance. Let's see this. The circular and solidarity economy look at enabling environment. So that means agroecology also focuses on creating an enabling what? Environment for agroecology to flourish. I know now, the first time I attended a discussion on this, for me, I went to an agroecology training, hoping that I'm going to be taught farming practices only. Until I was told the movement is bigger. The movement to transition to agroecology is what? Is bigger. Yeah? So there are governance issues as well. What are the laws talking about? Are the laws favoring the transition to agroecology? Yeah? Okay. Currently, we are to create an enabling environment. SAFPELA, Uganda, very many actors are looking at developing a national agriculture strategy with the Ministry of Agriculture, with an idea that the strategy will government will lead with this strategy to help upscale agriculture in Uganda. So, but also you realize that you may produce a strategy right now, and you hear the same ministry launching another strategy in upscaling chemical use in Uganda. Yeah, so there are things related to governance issues here. So these are further explanations on what we have already said that we are going to share with you. the explanation of each of the elements. So, lastly, this is also. Oh, yeah. So, you remember the first discussion where we talked about the levels. I'm going to try to expand this later. Where we talked about the levels. These are the levels. And then I discussed the principles and the elements. The first time I got principles and elements, I was like, why did these guys sit together? Then they come up with one, because now they are confusing me. So, this thing is going to show you which elements or which principles speak to the different levels. So, the level is it something sustainable? What do you think? Yes, please.
Sustainability, I think, is the ability to exist even for the future. While you're using it, but in a way that you give back.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Sustainable. Yes. Yes. Okay. So some of you, you have got notebooks and you have been writing. You have written the first page. You finish, you write on the second one. You write on the next one. Then you finish all the pages. Yeah. When you finish all the pages and you still want to write, where do you write?
The cover.
Yeah.
Ask for another.
On the cover. When you finish the cover, huh? You question that. Yeah. Now, that's not sustainable. Have you seen, if that is how we are using our natural resources, yeah, that when we deplete them all, we look for somewhere else, that is not sustainable. Are you together? I've seen people who have overused chemicals saying, now I need to transfer from this land. This land is now what? Wasted. Because the approach they have been using were not sustainable. But also apart from that, can it be equitable? They say being equitable is very difficult to achieve, but we need to work towards it. Yeah? If you're to guess, trust me, even if I leave out the level 4, we are not yet there.
I think
Level 2? Okay. Do you have a reason why you're saying?
because most farmers are using, they are using chemicals to substitute them with organic matter. Organic manure.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think that we are transitioning to level 1.
We are just going to level 1. We are from level 0. We are kind of level 0. Okay. I'm scared there will be some people who are going to say level 5. So, we need to ask ourselves, where are we in terms of awareness? Yeah? Where are we? Do we think farmers know the thing we are talking about? Do you think actors they know the things we are talking about? Yeah? Awareness. Then after awareness, we look at what is the adoption, the practice. Are people practicing it? Are we practicing it? Yeah? Then after the practice, we look at the what? The result. So these are supposed to help us define the level where we are. Okay. So when it comes to awareness, do we have consumers who are aware of the damage of the products we are putting on the market? Do we have farmers who are aware of the damage of the inputs that we are using? Do we have policymakers who are aware of the need for this transition? Are we together? Then in terms of practice, do we have policymakers starting to develop maybe policies or something like that? Do we have policymakers, do we have farmers transitioning from convention in the practice there? Are we together? So that is what we can look at.
Okay.
So for you, what do you think? Of course, each one of us will have different answers because now it's perception. Maybe in your village, they have transition. In other villages, they are what? They are not. Some of you may be coming from highly industrial area. Others you may be coming from areas where farmers are not using chemicals, not because they don't want, but because they are just poor and chemicals are expensive. Are you together? That's why the awareness is key. Yeah? Do we know that? Do we know do we know the effects of the current food system and all that? So on that note, I have tried to do justice to that, and I'm wondering whether there are any questions. Yes.
Yes, I was wondering what parameters define circular and solidarity economy.
Circular and solidarity economies that reconnect producers and consumers, and provide innovative solutions for living within the planetary boundaries while ensure the social foundations for inclusive and sustainable development. Solutions for living within our planetary boundaries, while ensuring the social foundation for inclusive and sustainable development. What we are trying to say here is that a circular and a solidarity economy is an economy that sustains itself. An economy that feeds itself. We are interdependent as a world, but also when it comes to things of the food system, you are safer when you can feed yourself. So that economy that we can be able to feed ourselves, but also building a social foundation that is inclusive and sustainable. We have already talked about sustainable development. Inclusivity looks at making sure that all of us, young people, older people, the poor and the rich, are all included. And social foundation By social, of course, we know we don't mean, like the challenges in the current system that we are having is that we are divided by how much we earn or how much property we have. Yeah. So there is a society for the rich, and then there are those who are not so rich, and then the poor. But then we're looking at building a foundation where everyone is included, everyone is respected. Yeah? Do you know you may have a very good idea, but if you're poor, no one will take your idea.
Use the email allowed say.
If you went to a wedding meeting and you said, let us do a cake which is small like this, and you're poor, they will think you're talking because you're poor. When a rich person suggests it, they're like, you may have a good idea. But it's the same suggestion, given by two different people. So, can we ever achieve a social foundation that includes everyone, not necessarily by the definitions that the society gives each one of us, be it a male or a female? In some societies, when a woman says something, actually in some societies, if a woman wants to say something, you tell your husband. Then your husband talks. Because if you talk, people will be like, looking at you as if you have not given very well. Very good one. But when the man says it, you see them looking at it. In some places, if I was the only one speaking here, when all of you are white, some white people would be questioning, well, why am I listening to what? A black person. Are you together? So inclusivity looks at not defining you by who you are, who you look like, sorry. Any other questions?
By the from we have to talk on the issue of awareness on that. For example, we had some people, our president, Dr. Museveni, told about awareness in America. Then he tested on pineapple. Then he said he would no longer eat pineapple. That is from, let's say, from Uganda, which is organically grown. We also people, we are practitioners of agroecology. What we say is not what we are doing. For example, we are going to have maybe lunch. If we see that type of meal that we have on our table, it's not reflecting what we are talking about. Even me, as a person, if you come and say, don't take this type of water, don't worry. You are telling me that you take about Stella, about what? But after I see you taking good oil, then I will have some question marks. Why are you telling me not to take this one if you are telling me? So we, the people who are trying to spread the gospel about our ecology, we should be practicing. Now, what is the reason behind that we, as the people who are here, we are not ordering the hotel prepare our local meals? Is it because maybe they are expensive? Yet again, on another side, we are finding that there is no fairness in pricing. That they give us the same amount of money, which is like those people are using organics. So, if we can hear our conversation, we are not stripped away. We are not meaning what we are doing, what we are saying. So, I think before even we say that you stop using these chemicals and what, I will having the alternative as a project so that maybe they can use this alternative. No. Like for example, in Chica or in the Western, we are having some few crops that we know that we cannot grow without applying such pesticides and chemicals, like Irish potato, tomatoes. You cannot do without it. So if we can maybe turn and say, we know these crops they cannot survive without the application of such inputs. What have we done, we as people are promoting agroecology, so that maybe before we tell other farmers this kind of input we are having there some substitute. First, know that this kind of inorganic fertilizer or inorganic fertilizer is going to address this challenge. So I think we are still lacking. We should first design something that we know if we say don't take this kind of water, we are having substitution, other than just saying don't take this one and you give someone just hungry. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those observations and points. What I can say in the area of practice, we are really innovative. And now that you have talked about tomatoes, Irish, it depends on the variety. Depends on the variety. We know farmers who are doing tomatoes, but they are not using chemicals. Then there are those whose varieties, and remember, the seed. Who has given you the seeds? Yeah? Seeds have their own condition. Yeah? We all know that some of us who grow maize, we find few local maize varieties that they apply what? Chemicals on them. Then there are those where you must stop. You must apply. Are we together? So for that reason, it goes back to this story of agroecology goes beyond the practice. It starts from the seed, the land, the what. Like there's a lot to be done. And as I said, transition doesn't mean that tomorrow you go and tell the farmer, tomorrow when you're planting, don't add anything. I say transition has what? Level. The farmer is supposed to say, or as farmers are supposed to say, now I'm determined to transition my farm to be agroecological. So you start designing how you're going to do that. Yeah? So the alternatives, I've heard someone talk about pesticides, I've heard someone talk about fertilizers. The alternatives are there. But also research is still ongoing. Yeah? There's also research is still ongoing on those different areas. So, are there questions, statements? Because if there are statements, they are responding to my thing that I put here. Okay, briefly. Yeah.
As SAF or as advocates of agroecology, because you said farmers are complaining that they take a lot of time, maybe making money and so on, so it's time consuming a lot. I've seen in the coffee sector that there is at least some bit of benefits of some organic coffee. When you sell coffee, which is organic, there's some bit of benefits. So what are you going to put in place for people to be attracted to the coffee? Because when I'm selling my things, I need people to know that this is organic. Like when I go to a supermarket, there is a difference between something that was farmed out of organic materials and that is organic. Like the benefits have to be different.
Yeah.
So as SAF, what have you done? Because if you go to the field and you share with people will ask, but the other one is it takes less time, I'll just go and buy fertilizers, apply. But this one I'm going fertilizers, do this, is time consuming. So what have you put in place? Are there any policy amendments?
Yeah, so awareness shouldn't be only about what? Practice. By the time a farmer is transitioning, let them transition because of the reasons for agroecology, not transitioning the practice only. So transitioning means you have agreed that is the agenda you want to take. Surprisingly, farmers know the damage that chemicals make. And do you know how I know that? When I visit them, they have their farm where they get their food, and the farm where they spray chemicals to take to the market. They have it. A farmer tells you, this one is mine. I don't do anything. These are my small tomatoes. I put them here. These are mine. The other one, the market wants them. Okay. So they know the benefit. Now, the thing is what he has just said. The market is not demanding for it. If the market here, if we came to this guy, by the way, we have never tried to do a market push. We are having our, I think it was the third or the second National Organic Week. We normally have something called the National Organic Week where we have a dialogue at the end. And the hotel that was going to host it, we told them, if we are to come to your hotel, we want you to prepare organic food. They said yes. We don't have suppliers of organic. Please bring the organic food. Mama. Farmers told us we have. Then the producer said, in this week, we want you to bring this number of matoke, this number of what, this number of what, this number of what. No way. It was not there. And actually, they were not going to test whether it's organic. No. We are told that our farmers produce organic. So they were not going to test, but they were like, this is the amount of food we want for us to produce for you, to make for you food. Hey, I tell you, there was trouble. Remember, farmers were going to earn money. Yeah, because the sure deal, the prices were already negotiated and everything was there. So the thing is, if these guys got clients who keep on telling them that they want organic food, they will prepare you. Are you together? That's how the market works. The market responds to demand. The market principles respond to what? To demand. Remember that time when people said, I want the white egg, the white egg. Did you see people start using chemicals to turn the brown egg to white? Because the market was demanding for it. So the market always responds to the demand. And that's what farmers tell us. If people were demanding these tomatoes, we would produce these tomatoes on large scale. But people are demanding the other what? The other tomatoes. Right together. So that's how the market works. So I think the biggest issue is not the farmer. The biggest issue is the market. If you went to a store where you buy your food and describe how you want your food, and another person describes it, that store lady will start thinking, so the things I'm bringing are not the right thing. Then she will have to allocate that are being demanded. So that's how it works. I think I'll take one question. Then we do this thing. So I'll take, I think you haven't said anything. Have you said?
The other challenge also is the differentiation of the products. You know that apples now in South Africa can tell they have stickers on them that is as in Uganda you have an out there that is it's getting these products. You can think go to that direction, but you get the criteria, these are the ones that in the marketplace, only you can have
Okay. In the work that we do, we have something called a PGS. Participatory guarantee system. Ideally, what happens is the community, using the participatory system, the community holds each other accountable to produce food organically. So when a group says, for us, our food is going to be organically produced, we enroll them to use this system. So when we enroll them, they start tracking from inputs, from practice, yeah, until the food comes out of that garden. And then later, we mark it as a PGS produced food. It's not the ultimate solution. The ultimate solution is to be having a system where hotels, where market traders, where what can detect that this is organic. You don't look at organic food by looking at it like this. Yeah? I may convince you that this banana is organic, but I'm not really sure. Don't mind about the taste. The taste can be fun. It's not the taste that determines whether something is organic. Yeah, because scientists are always thinking. Yeah, but there are very many different things that can use it. But of course, the condition of seed variety is also matter. There are seeds that we know for sure there's no way you can produce this seed using the organic practices. Yeah. Okay, let me give you the chance. The way you're looking at me, you're like, you are, how can you refuse? So, yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. I have probably 5 questions, and I want to those.
Okay. The others, we can discuss it during breaks. Yes.
One, that one is from you, that to what degree does agroecology promote plantation farming, which is largely characterized within specialization on specific tasks? Because as she had told us on the indicators of an ecology and agroecological farm, one is the diversity of the farm.
Yeah.
You will list the science. When you find that in the plantation farming, these farmers are having a specific produce they're giving to the market. So to what degree can agroecology entirely?
By plantation farming, you mean monocrop.
Yes.
When you do monocrop, is that diversity? Then it can be tricky. But can I do monocrop and I apply organic practices? Yeah. So in agriculture we say diversity. Yeah. And that's why the levels of transition are many. You get it? We have levels of transition. So when I come to your farm and you tell me, for me I'm just starting this discussion of agriculture, and I see a chemical bottle, but I also see other practices that you're doing, then I ask, are you committed to moving forward? You're like, yes, the levels of transition matter. So the reason why we are mostly against monocropping is because you are killing interaction. You're killing interaction in the ecosystem. Yeah? So, and there are certain practices you may be very difficult to do. For example, in organic farming, we use what we call a pull and push approach to control some pests and diseases instead of using chemicals. In a monocrop, you may not be able to do that. How to get that? So that's why we are so much against it. But there are certain organic practices that you can practice in what? In a monocrop. Like in case it is a garden of maize, and you say I'm not going to apply in what? In a fertilizer, in a chemical synthetic fertilizers or pesticides. They are organic what? Alternative. But for us in agriculture, we look at creating that interaction. So if I find you when you're doing entirely monocrop, we have to work towards moving to the next level. Okay. But can I produce it as a monocrop and under agroecology? I think the production bit of it can happen. I've already talked about the practice. Yeah, there are certain organic practices that can work, but our desire is great interaction. Yeah. Now, you know about crop rotation. Yeah. That is an organic way as well of preservation and things like that. So that means if I was doing a monocrop in 50 acres, I get my farm and I see how I can mix the different crops to help you control pest, soil, maintain soil fertility and stuff like that. Okay. So what do I do if I was a monocrop person and I'm benefiting as a monocrop? You are telling what agroecology against monocropping, what. What do I do? I think let us start by integrating the practices. In that way, you're going to see the code in yourself, where you're like, now, I've read about the push and pull, how do I use it? Yeah. And then the transition will start from there. Yeah. I've seen also in Busoga region, I've seen some sugarcane farms going away from using chemicals that they are using on the farm. Now I see them bringing what? Manure, organic manures to the farm. Yeah, I've seen them now do that. So people have started realizing that soil is a living thing. Soil is like us. It's a living thing. So there are other organisms that live in the water, in the soil, that we need to keep feeding. Those chemicals don't feed them. Yeah. So take a few steps off your desk. I don't know if I'd sent this question and followed there was no desk. I don't know what I would do, but I'm lucky there's a desk. So let us start up. And in a group of three, you do a group of three. And describe agroecology to yourself. By stepping out and meaning stepping out, really. Stepping out like you step out 2 steps. For you, what you have done by stepping out is standing out. Standing out is not stepping out. And then you do a group of 3. Or 4 is okay. Describe agroecology to yourself. Each one, what are they understood by agroecology? Starting now. Share a community scenario that best describes agroecology. Okay, you answer this question the way you have understood it, please. I'm not going to explain the question. You read it, the way you have understood it, answer it. But just know if you are going to discuss something related to what? Agroecology.
So now we are talking about the projects.
You recycle or you leave it there?
Because according to the safety, trying to give
What's that?
Having integrated projects, you find that let's say leftovers, because the bigger project are getting, so you find every project on the farm benefit from that, so it's a cycle. So you find there's no wastage on the farm. As I said, they may be growing maize, cutting cows. After feeding the cow, after harvesting the maize, you can get maize straws. Your cows, they give you milk, water, so they will give you cow dung. The cow dung you take it to the garden. You can again get it like biogas. You get biogas out of it. Then after you get biogas, you say you finish it. So you find on the farm, there is no wastage. If the projects are well integrated, find every project is benefiting from one to another. So find that cycle. So there's some crops that maybe we don't also they live in our garden. The family foods, the foods that can take long in the garden. For example, pumpkins, there's cassava, radish, potato, those without they are getting notified. So you can also
That's where they come in. So to me, it's just because if we give a scenario, for example, the production of organic, that is also yes. But if I don't know if your community is practicing that. The answer would be
Are you convinced with your friend's explanation? Okay.
From one place. So to me, that's basic, yes. It could be zero grazing, but now it is the modern. Because you're not.
Okay, that is it. So let us here. No, this was, we are not sitting. We have been sitting for the full 3 hours. Come on. I'm told we are dealing with youth. Yeah? If this was an elderly class, I would say, please sit as we discuss. No. So, one, let's sum again. So, one thing from each of the groups. One key highlight from each of the group, what you discussed. So I'm starting from here. What was the key highlight in your discussion? Let's listen.
In our discussion, we say to describe a community that may be practicing agroecology. Let's say, let me use an example of a farm. There should be integrated projects. For example, if you are growing maize, you can harvest your maize, then the maize stock can go to the animal section. For example, cows. After you have got milk, they have also given you cow dung. You don't just take that cow dung direct to the garden. If you're having the biogas system, you can now again use that cow dung to get some energy. Again, use the bioslurry or the byproduct to feed your crops. Then, also, if you can reach on the farm, you can see the crops that are grown around there. Also, you have to see that at least there are some family foods to show that this farm, on the issue of food security, it is safe. Family foods, they include pumpkins, cassava, those foods that can take longer without going bad. If you go there and you find maybe there are some pumpkins there in the garden, cassava, then it means this person on the issue of food security is safe.
Okay. Next.
Okay,
First.
yes, for our community, we've shown like a community practices climate smart agriculture, which includes all agroecological practices. So we looked at practices such as the traditional practices, and then we talked of bringing in a synthetic product when it's a necessity, when it is essential, because if it's not, we actually are using the agroecological practices, that is the traditional. Yes, and then we talked of the relationship interrelating with the livestock, human beings. So for human beings, us, we are producing something that is going to will lead to food security. If we limit the use of pesticides, we shall reduce on the cancer issues and all that. So that's how we are benefiting. And then for the animals, we are assuming maybe the farm also has livestock, so we shall reduce more on the cage system whereby livestock is intact just in one place. So we want to, I think nowadays they call it feedlots. Yes, something of the kind. Yes. So their animals won't be in one place. They at least they will be doing some physical exercise, so they will also be benefiting.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And yeah, the practices are sustainable.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Our community is called Minister Village. We are located in Uganda. So what we do in our community, we are rearing animals, we are growing crops. So in our community, we make sure that our waste collected from animals and at home we use like banana fibers, urine. We are dumping it in one place, making a compost manure. So we use that manure to make a fertilizer. We again apply to the crops. And we are also making the social values. We we make sure that we sit together when we are enjoying our meal, make sure that the family promote the issue of social value and diet. Then on animal areas, we are rearing animals and crops in one part whereby animals produce fertilizer, which is manure, then also crops benefit. Then the crops we normally harvest, we are making sure that we transport them by using the electricity bicycles to transport them to market, reducing on the eco-friendly environment and stopping pollution.
Okay. Thank you. I'm seeing that group is editing their work. What others have said.
We are not editing, but in Mbale, the small group of farmers, the community work together to cultivate diverse crops using traditional and sustainable methods instead of relying on synthetic fertilizers or pesticides. We use natural, like for example, we use biological. And this pest against the other one, like also this weed against the other one. We also incorporate some agroforestry methods, like for example, we have agroecology, we have array. In order this crop to help the other one, like we intercrop banana with coffee and beans. Beans produce nitrogen, which is helpful to the bananas and coffee, while bananas produce or they support with the crop cover from sunlight to the beans. Okay, that maybe my friend wants to add.
I can just add a few points that have been summarized. Actually, it's coexistence. We have sustainability by diversity in this sector approach. We use and those are the key points.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, the next.
Yes, we're a group of farmers that formed an organization.
Last but not least.
Thank you very much. For us, our group and the community, we look at transforming livelihood by what we do. That is, we have a demonstration farm that has got the different enterprises, it has got the animals, it has got the crops, and now these farmers, we are able to bring them, they learn those different agronomical practices, especially the organic practices, and at the end of the day, they are able to carry them out at their farms, and their lives are transformed. Then, also very important, we look at the community as a community. We look at organic agriculture at all the different levels, right from production and up to marketing to the consumer. So we've been able to create some, they're called the roadside markets for organic products, so that these farmers, through the PGS, they're able to come and participate in these markets. They bring their organic products, so that at the end of the day, if they produce them, they don't just consume only, but they are also able to bring them to the markets, and then they sell and they get something. Yeah.
Thank you very much. All of you guys have given brilliant community scenario. So, the scenarios that have come, can you point where your scenario is? Your scenario that you have given, is it under science, practice, or movement? Yours is under what?
I think practice and movement.
Yours is under practice?
Some science. Practice and movement.
You must know these definitions very well. Yeah? So you're saying, yours falls where? Yours falls where?
Ours both science and practice.
What is the science in your approach?
We are using scientific approaches like agroforestry, using.
That's practice.
No, the process of implementing is the one which is practice.
Well, yes, tell me the science of agroforestry.
That one is organic. This one is organic testicle. Instead of using fertilizer. Instead of using systemic fertilizer.
What is agroecology as a science? Agroecology as a science talks about research and education. So we are looking at conducting research, sensitizing about the research, and implementing the research. Are we together? If there's any technology that you have developed out of agroforestry and you have practiced it over a long period of time, you have, like, it's not you only picking it as a practice, it is you developing it. Are we together? You develop it. You train it to people. You put it into action. So that's why I'm challenging you on that one. That's the explanation I want to get. Is there a technology that you have developed in that community? That's what I'm Yours was what?
Practice and social movement.
Okay, yours is what?
Practice and movement.
Practice and movement.
Those who have said practice and movement, if I told you to pick one out of practice and movement, what would you pick?
I want to add before I say which one I can do. Ours has some sort of science. Because that, as I said, that we first incubate ideas, then after incubating them, find out that maybe this pesticide can work, this thing can do, then afterwards we are able to what? We are able to teach them to the farmers.
The biggest challenge agroecology is facing, currently, is because there's little investment. There's little investment in science. And you can also see it by what we have said here. There's little investment in science. That's why we should always have questions on preservatives. We should always have questions. Because we are not investing in science. We are investing in upscaling the practices that we already know. Yeah? But we are not investing in conducting intense research on the practices, on the varieties, on all the other things that we need to boost evidence. This is where the other guys are investing. For them, when you meet them, we did a study. They all have those kind of facts. For us, normally, in Agroecology, you find someone talking about the history as our backing. Our ancestors kept their seed. Their seed is very good. What have we studied on our seed that we can use? Okay. We are. And if we're to build a movement of young people around agroecology, we need to get a movement of young people who have interest in it as a science. And this, every time we do a training on agroecology, we do this kind of small test. And then you find out everyone is focusing on this one. Actually, even as a movement, few people focus on the movement. We focus on this.
Because it's cheap. Yeah, and very expensive.
And that's why our campaign is on investment in agroecology. When we're talking to donors, when we're talking to governments, we're telling them invest in agroecology. How much of your budget are you sending towards this? Because without money, we cannot do this. That's why we're all doing things that we already know. You see, in my garden, hey, you have not bought the new land, you have not done what, it was already there. So So, if we want to stand out as young people, this is an area we are supposed to pick our interest as well. How do we work with scientists to investigate things? Yeah. Like some, we have created a situation as if agroecology doesn't involve any science. There's a lot of science in the things that we do. We need that data out there. We need to do research. Are we together? Okay. So, if I'm not mistaken, we have earned our lunch.
And marks.
No, the marks are going to come. You wait. There's a time for it.
As I was saying, in our community, my sister here, last week she sold 4 times those vegetable fertilizer. In that science. And again, my brother here was thinking of starting generating biogas in the western district in Uganda.
Okay. Let me ask you something. The fact that I'm using this phone, am I a scientist? Even if I've changed, even if I'm the one who bought the guide, even if I'm the one who bought the screen, and I put it together, do I qualify now to have data about the phone? Are we together? Now, if someone has done a study on biogas and has investigated things related to biogas and has contributed to knowledge, that is a science. Are we together? Like, you go to communities and some people have re-innovated some practices. Yeah. Let me say cover crop, and they have re-innovated cover crop. That person has documented it and it is a science. But if, let me say, you're only picking a phone to use it, no matter how you know the phone, the CPU, the what, no matter what you can say about the phone, provided you are not the one who took part in this, you are just selling to us a product. So, if tomorrow I start my biogas thing and I use it to investigate, how does it perform in legumes? How does it perform in what? How do I use manure here? How do I use? You get it, and you keep documenting that. You're actually doing it now as a science because you're doing research. Practice is getting what has already been researched and using it. That is practice. So what I'm saying is, if you're discussing something in relation to using, you are discussing practice. If you're discussing something related to innovation, you are discussing science.
Yes.
Are you together?
Okay. In addition to that, I just wanted to add something.
Hey, by the way, you can have your seat. Some of you are about to start falling here. And you have to call ambulances and things like that. Yes, please.
Yes, I was saying, in relation to research, I finished my research, master's research on the contribution of African tribe members to the economic livelihoods of households in Northern Uganda. Because in our community, most people think the African flying termites is just for eating, and it is seen as doesn't have the economic benefits to our household. And I realized that most of the farmers and most of the households, when they catch this, they eat, they make it to different products, they